Hello. Got my bubbles out. I had an idea today, and I have a couple of scriptures. That, by the way, the bubbles have nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about. Well, I guess it's something simple and cheap that that I like. So I get bubbles, and kids like bubbles. So when kids visit Red, I have bubbles. But what I was going to talk about is hoarding. Yeah, I have experience with um, friends in the past and family who hoard and trying to help them. But first, I was going to read you some scriptures. And yeah, I've recently been accused of hoarding, which is kind of really comical, actually. I did have a lot of stuff, but, and I would say, yeah. I mean, it's on a continuum. And like before, yeah, I was leaning towards keeping a lot of stuff, and like my mother was a saver, and she saved things, but she liked things clean. My mother-in-law has a hoard and she doesn't clean very well. And I've had friends actually, and a couple of friends that I tried to help who were really extreme hoarders, and their houses were in very bad shape and dirty and hoarded. So, but anyways, I'm gonna read Matthew 6:19 through 21. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And then I did open up to the book of Proverbs today, and it says, do not overwork to be rich. Because of your own understanding, cease. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away like an eagle towards heaven. So what do those have to do with hoarding? I feel like it's a greedy thing, actually. I really do. I feel like it's kind of associated with greed, and it's associated with fear of lack. There's also a good verse in Philippians that I feel goes here, where Paul says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether being in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. I had a friend in Georgia who I went to kind of help her they were gonna move, and I'm just like I'm a pretty tactful and sensitive person. I found out, I guess maybe it was 2016, 2017. I don't know when it was exactly, that I'm an empath. And that kind of makes sense. But anyways, I don't say, some people might say, because I do say a lot of stuff and I don't care what people think. When I will share truth, but I don't share everything I'm thinking. And so that's why I was a good person. I had sympathy and empathy. My friend who had the trouble with this, and you really need, she hired someone too who was very good. I don't know how much, I think she paid her a lot of money. She was very good, and as she helped her sort through her things, she had 6 kids, and they were, the oldest was a teenager there, so they were all close in age. So she had 6 kids. So that was, she homeschooled, and in my opinion, yeah, sometimes hoarders are very perfectionistic. They want it to be perfect, and it can't be perfect. So it's just, my ex is sort of becoming more and more of a hoarder, and he's like that. He wants things perfect, but they're not going to be perfect. Like, just get over that. Get over that notion. And while you're wanting things perfect, you're collecting more and more stuff, and it's piling up. You can't keep it clean. And it was just unbelievable when I went, and when I would and even when I would go to my mother-in-law, sometimes I would be so overwhelmed by it all, though. I was just like, what can I help her with? And sometimes I would just clean off one shelf in the refrigerator, and that's all I could do. Like, I had my kids with me, or down there too, and I had my own things to deal with. Here I am, wanting to help this person with their mess. And so this person with the 6 kids, I went over and I just did her bathroom, but it was unbelievable. They had a pet fish in the bathroom, and the fish died and disintegrated, and it was just that I had to dump out the fish tank, and like, and then there were clothes on the floor, and dirty clothes, and it was wet, and it was like moldy. I didn't say anything though. I just cleaned, and I believe that took me a whole day. And I think, and I've seen it on hoarders too, where you buy more clothes instead of the clothes she was behind on the laundry, and 6 kids, and it was hard. Another woman I tried to help was an older woman, and she like hurt her back, and it was like she was stuck in the bed, and it was dangerous because hard to get in and out of there, too many things, and I never made a dent at her house. I never did. And her family, incidentally, I feel like had given up. Had given up on her. They would clean out a portion of it, and then come back and be like, my son that's in Denver was friends with her grandson. Like, we met at the recycling, and but I tried, and I wanted to, and I actually felt bad, but I was needing to find a job. And so I was wanting to help my friend, and I was wanting to kind of kill two birds with one stone. And I actually approached her family because her, her, well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want, I already said too much. But anyways, I don't want to say anymore. But anyways, I approached her family that maybe, if they would pay me, it's sort of, I had a desire to help her. And I approached someone in her family because, like, said, maybe you could pay me. I would, try to help her clear this out. Because someone in her family had actually talked to her about what would you think if I put you on, if we called up the show. And this person was not gonna, that was not gonna fly with her. That was not gonna fly with her. Another verse like that I said, because it was a Christian friend, a verse I said with her is, God is not the author of confusion. God is a God of order. So, you know, because, this same person sort of made me feel guilty about my divorce. And I was like, are you seriously going to go there? It's hard on the children. Oh, and I'm just like, it's hard on your family to have your house looking like that. Very hard on the family. And I feel like my own children have approached this wrongly because one time we went down to my mother-in-law's, and my daughters took newspaper that was under the bed in one of the rooms at my mother-in-law's house and put it out in the garbage. Well, I just didn't feel like they should do that because it is a psychological problem. It's not, I felt like it was disrespectful. I felt like my daughter should not have done that to their grandma. They did it, and I felt like, that's not helping her. You have to be like this person that my friend with the 6 kids hired. She was helping her first with, I guess they like prioritized it. She was going through her like medicines and all her, putting all her medicines for the kids and like allergy medicine, all that. And she was sorting all that out. And then as she would go through stuff with her, she would say to her, how is your anxiety levels? And she would say to my friend that, and I thought that was very good because, yeah, it's a mental health thing. It is. But, and these people are, and I think it's very fear-based, like they're afraid of lack. And so, the person here, the roommate here, had so much stuff. It was ridiculous. And then he left and didn't take most of it with him. And then I found out like there was a large pan that was gone when I came back. I've been, back and forth because I've been traveling, and I'd go away and come back. And he came, incidentally, as another roommate. There was a one here in the basement, and then he was upstairs, and then I was here, not all the time, but when I came back in my RV. But he came when I left in November 2020. But I came back here and I was like, Gladys, where's your pan? Where's your big pan that I made the chili in? What happened to it? I don't know. You know, maybe he made something and it took somewhere. I was like, the lid is here. She cleaned out his room. It was up there in his room. He made popcorn in it or something like that. She bought another pan. It was $40. And the refrigerator's full of, freezer's full of meat. There's stuff in the garage. Well, now, like all his stuff, she moved it to the garage. But it's so wasteful. It's so wasteful. And actually, you know, and he actually accused me. I used some of his meat before because I made chili. Again, speaking of the chili. And I replaced it. We had so much stuff in there when we started having a conflict too. He accused me of not replacing. I was like, I replaced your stuff, everything I used. But see, he had so much stuff stuffed in the freezer that he didn't see it. I replaced his ground beef. I replaced the ground beef. Dude, you just didn't see it because you have so much stuff in there. You can't tell what you have and what you don't have. And it's just so wasteful. When I first came back too, there's stuff rotting in the refrigerator. There's a problem that my mother-in-law frequently had, and that the older lady that I talked about, expired food. She gave me food. I got her to give me stuff, and I thought that was being helpful. It was stuff like a box of Krusty's lemon bars, but it was so old that it wasn't good. I tried to make it and it was bad. And she had stuff in storage, and this is how this was wasteful. The older lady had stuff in storage in another state that she lost because she never went and took it back. And she had stuff, she had a house full of stuff, like a 1,600 square foot house, like the house I sold in Georgia. She couldn't sell her house because it was a mess. She was in no shape to show anybody or anything, you know, because it was such a mess. And so I don't know what happened with her now. Because I'm no longer in touch with her. That was sort of the end of it when she was condemning me for my divorce, and I'm just like, you live in chaos, and like God is not the author of confusion. I don't think that's God's best for her. And since I downsized, someone was talking about my move today. I was at Passion for Art. And it's just so cool to be able to fit everything you own in. It should all fit in my minivan. I came up here in my car. It did take me 3 weeks, the last of it. It took me a year to downsize my 1,600 square foot house. And I had 2,000 books, and I donated them to friends of the library, most of them. Sometimes I would put them in and it took me so long because I had so much stuff. I recently shared a picture of my lion on my community tab that I had. I really love that lion. And I listed it once, and people were wanting to give me $20 for him, and I was just like, no, maybe I'm not ready for this. I took him off of Facebook Marketplace, put him back. So it took a lot of time, and then at the end, even when I sold my house and I had to, you know, the realtor had to go through the house and film it empty, and I still wasn't ready because I hadn't sorted through all the stuff that I was leaving in the storage for my daughter. And so I real quick, and I was glad I was able to get it, rented a U-Haul. No, didn't nearly fill it up, but I spent 3 weeks after I sold my house, I spent 3 weeks in Georgia in a hotel room sorting through stuff because I had papers, I had just some stuff I didn't really know. I wasn't in contact with my oldest daughter or any of my daughters, and so wasn't able to ask them what they really wanted, but I wanted to just let this stuff go, and the stuff that I thought they could possibly want, and when I wrote a note to my daughter, I said, you could take it to dad's, because he has a 35 square foot house that I downsized from that first to I got rid of some of my books. I think I had about 2,000 books in the big house. I had a library, 2,000, maybe more books in the 3,400 square foot house. And I downsized, and I put them in stacks of 20 to count them. And I had 1,500 in the little house, and I just kept taking them, and then some I saved. That I had a harder time getting rid of, some of them I wanted to save, I ended up donating at the end, some really nice books. So if anybody went to the Friends of the Library sale, I would go to that and buy books too. They will get some really good treasures there. And if I ever want to have a library again, I would go to the Friends of the Library sale. That's the place to go if you love books or a book collector. But yeah, I had a friend in Georgia who would go to it every year, and I started going to it with her, and we would make like a day of it. Have lunch, shop, and then have lunch, and you got a lot of good deals on books, and so that's how I ended up with so many books. But I don't think I will collect them again. I do still have, like, they're in this closet right here. You want to see about how many books I have? I had like 100 journals. That was a hard thing to get rid of too. My old journals. I didn't get rid of all of them, but because that's where some of my poems are. I had to. Couldn't get rid of all of them. That is about all the books I have left now. Yeah, that's about it. Still a good little collection, but so I shouldn't have any problem fitting everything I own into my Honda Odyssey. It's a 2004 Honda Odyssey. Pray for my friend Mario to get it going. Yeah. So all my stuff's gonna fit in that. And that's what I'm taking all my stuff in to Denver. Yay. I did buy a painting because I do want to get a Sticks and Bricks. I do want to get a Sticks and Bricks in Denver, or maybe in California. I don't know. I don't know if I'll rent an apartment maybe for a year or two and then keep looking around, because I'm not sure where I'm going to end up settling. I really still am drawn to the beach in California, but I'm drawn to where my son is too, and Colorado's beautiful, and And yeah, and it's a big plus that Ian is there, of course, and it's really pretty. And I finally went through like the winter in a place where it snows, which is here. I'm right near St. Louis. I'm in Belleville, Illinois. So it wasn't that bad. I can handle some snow. Um, I kind of like being all cozy and watching the snow fall, sitting by the fire, drinking something hot. I plan to get some writing done this winter. Maybe I'll finish my second book of poems that I've been working on so long. But anyways, I've gone 25 minutes, you guys, talking about downsizing, hoarding, minimalism, I guess. I never thought I could be a minimalist, but yeah, everything I own fit in my RV. It's all pretty much packed up. Let me show you before I close. So there's that. There's some clothes here that go in that suitcase. Some clothes here. Oh, my wigs. And then this. Which my bedding goes in this box. This box right here is empty. Yeah. And that is it. That's it. Love you guys. Bye.